All right. So you are the second person that I am speaking with regards to millennials and the church. And so the first question that I have for you is, what does it mean to you to be a black millennial? What does it mean to be a black millennial today?
Personally, well, in my generation, I feel that to be a black millennial, a lot of people in our generation care about money, fame, um, they care about being successful, and they care about uplifting our race as a whole. I think that's what it means right now to be a black millennial, to
Okay.
succeed.
All right. And so, how do you think millennials today view the church? What do you think? Like when you think about your friends or people that you know or may not even know personally, but just your generation in general, which is a millennial generation, what do you think their view is of the church?
What I think it depends on how you were raised. I think that every black child, or for the most part, they were raised in the church and they didn't get a chance to really understand what Christianity is and to form their own views and opinions about religion. It was whatever their family was. So growing up, I grew up in the church and I'm Christian, and that's also by choice. But a lot of people of our generation, a lot of black millennials, they are kind of lost in religion and they don't really know what it means to be Christian. They're just saying they are because that's what they were raised as. And their views about religion, because our generation is very rebellious and carefree, they don't care about religion and they don't see a need for church. All they care about is saying that they're Christian but not actually being a Christian.
Okay, so staying on that topic for just a second, when you think about millennials and what they care about, you mentioned one of the things was uplifting the community. And the church has been known, has been viewed as that within the black community, at least to be the cornerstone. Would you say today, in the eyes of millennials, that the church is still considered like the cornerstone of the community? If not, why do you think that they don't consider it that anymore?
I think that now people don't see the church as the cornerstone for the community because, or millennials don't, because like I said, there's this carefree kind of persona that everyone has, and they wait, could you ask your question again? I forgot.
Yeah. So how does the church? How do they see the church? Do they see the church as being a cornerstone anymore of the community? And if not, why not? Because I know a lot of millennials have gravitated to different movements within our country versus gravitating to the local urban church. And so, what do you think is the difference between those things? Why aren't they seeing the church as this place they can go to express their faith or express their activism versus being involved in something else?
I think a lot of black millennials have negative perceptions about the church based off of how they grew up in the church, and they don't like a lot of things about the church and things that go on inside of it. Like, for example, having to like when the preacher if the preacher says stand up or put your hands out or do things that they don't feel comfortable with, they feel like they're forced to do it. So a lot of the things that happen inside of the church, I hear a lot of people say that they feel like they have to do it, and if they don't, then they're bad, or it's a sin if they don't do something. So I think they just turn away from the church in general. They still want to be Christian, and they still want to have Christianity as their religion. They want to claim it, but they don't want to go to church because of the negative perceptions that they had growing up. So if you think about uplifting the community, they believe in God, but they don't believe that would be going to church or doing things through your church, doing things with your church would be a way to uplift the Black community. They automatically turn to the different movements that we have, like the Black Lives Matter and things like that.
Okay. So then my last question that I would ask is, what do you think the local church could do or needs to do to engage more millennials?
I think that it depends on the church that these millennials are going to. For example, the church that I go to, it's a very diverse church, and the ages are even diverse. You see different people, different ages, and it's not the traditional kind of church, and it's not what people in my generation are used to. So for them to see more diversity and to see new things and to create an open space where they can feel comfortable and do things in their own will and learn new things about God and Christianity that they didn't know before, just creating an open space where they feel comfortable. That would get them into the church more programs that reach out to them. I think when you attach the word God or the word Christian or religion to anything, people in my generation automatically they don't want to have anything to do with it. If there's a way that you can create programs that reach out to them that without even have to say or attach those words to it, like God, Christianity, religion, without attaching that to it and just creating programs with like their kind of interests, maybe like basketball or sports, something like that, but they end up learning about God through the program, that'll be better because they won't feel like it's being forced upon them. They'll want to learn.
Okay. Well, thank you. Anything else you have to say about millennials in the church? All right. Thanks.